Hi, I'm Liz Weston, author of the book 10 Commandments of Money, and I blog at acclaimed. A lot of readers send me questions about money, and they're particularly confused about credit and credit scoring. Here are some myths that could be keeping you back. We have the idea in the United States that you really should pay off every penny of debt that you owe, no matter the cost. But the reality is some people have debts that are simply too big to pay. If it would take you 5 years or longer to pay off your toxic debts such as credit cards, payday loans, bounce fees, you may be better off filing for bankruptcy. It's not the best option, but it's better than struggling for years with unpayable debt, draining down resources like your retirement accounts or your home equity, only to wind up having to file anyway. Sometimes filing for bankruptcy is the best of bad options. A potentially destructive myth is the idea that the average American has $9,000 in credit card debt. It's simply not true. 25% of American households have no credit cards, so they have no credit card debt. Another 30% of U.S. households pay their cards off in full every month. So that's a majority of U.S. households with no credit card debt. Of the remaining 45%, the median amount owed on credit cards is $3,000. You do tend to owe more if you're in your 30s and 40s and in those household building stages, but most people have nowhere near $9,000 in credit card debt. The reason this myth is so destructive is it gives comfort to people who have a lot of credit card debt, thinking that they're average, when in reality they are hurting their own finances and leading themselves closer to the possibility of bankruptcy. It's really important to pay off that toxic debt and do it as quickly as possible. A really destructive myth is the idea that you have to carry a credit card balance in order to have good scores. The reality is you don't. You don't have to pay a penny in unnecessary interest to have good credit scores. What's reported to the bureaus is typically the balance on your last statement. So you could get the bill the next day and pay it, but what would be reported to the credit bureaus is still the balance owing from your last statement. So it doesn't really know that you've paid it off in full. Since it doesn't know, you might as well pay it off and not have to pay that interest. Keeping your credit scores high and your credit utilization low is key to having good scores. And what that means is you don't use up too much of your available credit limit and you pay off your cards in full every month.